Mufti literally agrees with Ghamidi on 90% of the things. Yeah, possibly even more. I don't know. I would feel that um, I don't know whether Ghamidi Saab would agree with me on everything, but I would agree with him more so on many things. I think I'm a bit the difference with Ghamidi Saab's approach and my approach. One, Ghamidi Saab is much more kind of has a much more mature approach. I respect that. He's the kind of approach that you would show your parents. When they ask a question about Islam, you wouldn't present somebody like me. They'd be like, this guy, this what the hell? You're definitely going to hell. But you'd present somebody like Hamdi Saab. So he's much more kind of, mature, much more, I don't know, the word still comes to my mind, like he's kind of much more, whereas I'm kind of like, I'm just crazy, I think. So, yeah, so Ghamidi Saab generally on that. And then the other thing is, I think Ghamidi Saab still does try to a great extent to please or appease the Indian subcontinent scholars. So like the Deobandi scholars, the Brailvi scholars, he will still try to appease them and to try to be a middle ground between them and so he's not, so in many ways he's still very, very traditional. I don't know if traditional is the right word, because I would claim to be traditional too, but I suppose very conservative. He's not actually that radical in his views as people assume. So I think I'm much more out there, outspoken on many issues. I'm perhaps a lot more. I've had a much more daring approach, and I've entertained controversy much more than somebody like Javed Ghamidi Saab has. So, for example, the concept of the afterlife being, or not the concept, the description of the afterlife being symbolic in nature, not literal. It's not something, I don't think Ghamidi Saab would say anything like that. Even things like, I'm just trying to think, that hudud, punishments of the Sharia in this world is, sorry, that's my private jet just landing. That the concept of hudud changes with the Sharia. You see, but I have the Maliki madhab that allows me to say things like that. Whereas I suppose because Ghamidi Saab doesn't, you see, what's also different in our approaches is I am part of the Maliki madhab. And I suppose Ghamidi Saab isn't really part of any madhab. So you see, for him to say something, it would be entirely off his own back. Whereas I would show that, look, the Malikis before me have been thinking like this. Look, Burzuli 700 years ago is saying, 600 years ago is saying the Sharia should change, this should change. That's what the Sharia itself mandates. I'm just part of a legacy. So I suppose there's that as well that is different between us. And things like I suppose wearing earrings. I've got rulings that's permissible. Tattoos are permissible. I don't think Hamdi Saab would ever say something like that, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so there is that kind of approach where I think I would have maybe tackled head on many more issues that are controversial than Ghamidi Saab has, because I think he's still trying to keep relatively, he's still trying to not he doesn't want his teachings to be an affront to the traditional Indo-Pak ulama like the Deobandis, and I think he doesn't want to rattle the cage too much, which is fair enough, which is sensible. You see, this is what I'm saying. I feel he's a very sensible, mature person. I'm just I'm just off the rails. That's the problem.